So you're probably wondering why I'm recording this 2 days after the trailer dropped. Well, shit happens, alright? That's all I can say. Shit happens, and I can't, yeah, I can't do everything, so... Anyway, so I'm going to talk about, finally, the Black Widow trailer. What did I think of it? I liked it. I really enjoyed this Black Widow trailer. I was hoping for it, and I was actually having a pool with my friend Mount Vernon kid, and he was saying like they're not going to show it. They're not going to show it anytime soon. I'm like, maybe they'll show it at the during Thanksgiving, like they did with Lion King last year, like one of the football games. And no, that didn't happen. So Chris, you were right. They were going to show it in December. Yep. Anywho, I was wrong. Anyway, so let's talk about this Black Widow trailer. Now, what I like about it is that it feels like, kind of like a John Wick trailer if it went to 11. Like, that's what I kind of like, is that it really feels like, this doesn't feel like a typical Marvel movie. It feels more akin to, like, Winter Soldier. And it's funny, because this is going to be, set during, the timeline is that this movie's going to be set during, in between the events of Civil War and Infinity War, and what happened with her. So I really like that. I really think that's cool. Although I kind of was like, we've been asking for a Black Widow movie since Iron Man 2. We've been legit asking for a Black Widow movie, and it took until after she was dead to finally fucking get a Black Widow movie. Anyway. What also just irks me, and I don't know what it is, and maybe they can explain it. This is an easily explainable thing that they can do in the movie. Scarlett Johansson speaks perfect English, while all of her siblings like her sister, and her mother and her dad her family's basically speaking with a Russian accent, but she's speaking like clear English. Now, it kind of like it was a little rocky for me in the trailer. Because, yeah, Natasha's Russian. She always had that Russian accent, I kind of imagined. But, yeah, I always was like, I never bothered with it because, yeah, Natasha's whole thing is that she's a spy, and spies need to blend in. So, to blend in with people who are mostly, who are American, she'd have to train herself to speak clear English. So that makes sense to me. But, when she's back home, I was kind of thinking she'd break out the Russian accent again. But maybe that's what it is that in the movie they'll explain, maybe they'll have a moment of, you don't even sound like yourself anymore. And she'd be like, yeah, because the Red Room and S.H.I.E.L.D. trained me to almost forget who I am. So so maybe that's her defense mechanism, because, yeah, it's kind of clear, she's made little mentions in Endgame and Infinity War that the Avengers was the only real family she ever had. So maybe... that's, this is her defense mechanism, is not even, wanting to speak like her family. That could, that could be the case. So let's talk about her family. We've got her sister, who is, in the comics, Yelena Bolivia, who they're having as her sister, where in the, which, honestly, I'm surprised they just didn't take the Marvel Knights Black Widow miniseries with her and Yelena going at each other. That could have just been a movie in of itself, but making them sisters? Alright, whatever. Her mother is also a member of the Winter Guard, and her father, Dave Harbour, is playing Red Guardian, who is her father. I will say that I like the Red Guardian costume, I really do, and it gives me hope that maybe we'll get a mention of the Winter Guard, the, Russia's Avengers, are we going to get mentions of Ursa Major? Are we going to get Darkstar? Are we going to get Crimson Dynamo, the real Crimson Dynamo? Are we going to get Sabercat? Are we going to get, those characters? Or at least a mention of them. Because it would make sense, especially, you would think that Russia, after seeing the Avengers, would probably put their own team, typical world power escalation, would have their own team of metahumans, right? Anyway, I digress. So I'm hoping maybe we'll get some mention of the Winter Guard, of some capacity. That'd be cool. What was I gonna say? Yeah, it was really cool. I'm also, trying to get a fix on Taskmaster, because that Taskmaster costume, I was like, I don't know if I'm 100% behind it yet. I really don't know if I'm 100% behind the the Taskmaster costume. Maybe he'll, it looks very Power Ranger-y, It's kind of sad because Marvel usually, like 9 times out of 10, they really knock it out of the park with the costumes because they get, it's still the MCU, but it feels like comic book costumes most of the time. But this time it really like I thought they would go all out with the Taskmaster costume. If not the skull mask and the hood, at least the Udon costume. Yeah, you could have easily done the Udon costume, like the hoodie and the skull mask. That costume from Udon. Yeah, you could have just done that. That would have worked too. I don't get the body or the weird body armor thing, but whatever. It's gonna take me some time to get used to that Taskmaster costume because I was like, I am not 100% behind it yet. I don't hate it, but I don't love it either. So I'm really excited for this. I really enjoyed Winter Soldier, and that's what this really feels like. It really feels like we're going back to a Winter Soldier kind of storytelling with this movie. I've been wanting a Black Widow movie for ages. I wanted a Black Widow movie, and I'm pretty sure y'all can agree, since Iron Man 2. Why wasn't this a sooner movie? You know? Anyway. So yeah. Really all I can say is I'm interested in this movie, and it's going to be interesting to see that Marvel is taking a step back with only 2 movies next year. This being Black Widow, and the next in November being the Eternals. Which, yeah, guys, I don't know, like, the Eternals I've talked about already of how, like, even I, as a big a comic book guy as I am, I've never given a single shit about the Eternals. And I know they're Jack Kirby creations, you gotta give respect to the king. But, like, I've never once bothered with the Eternals outside of one Neil Gaiman story, which I'm pretty sure is going to be the basis of the movie. Don't quote me on that. But yeah, the Eternals. But then again, no one cared about Guardians of the Galaxy, and that was a cult following. But even then, like, Guardians of the Galaxy, when it got announced and no one knew who the fuck they were, they still had a cult following. And yeah, James Gunn really knocked it out of the park with theirs, so I guess, But Eternals is a really, really niche group, so that's the one I'm more curious of how they're going to play out. But anyway, so you guys tell me in the comments below, what did you guys think of the Black Widow trailer? Did you guys like it, hate it? Comment below, let me know, and once again, hope you all enjoyed this, and I'm out.